Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Charles. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of numismatics to explore the 1965 United States quarter dollar, one of the most talked about coins in American history. Is this quarter valuable? Could you be holding a rare piece worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Let's find out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe *** to Yamara for more coin-related content. The 1965 United States quarter dollar, also known as the Washington quarter, is an important coin in U.S. history. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, but due to a silver shortage and rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to a copper-nickel-clad design. This decision marked the end of the silver era for U.S. quarters, making 1964 the last year of silver quarters. The 1965 quarter, on the other hand, was made with an inner core of pure copper and an outer layer of copper-nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance. Interestingly, some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets left over from 1964. These error coins are extremely rare and highly valuable. The 1965 Washington quarter was heavily produced at the Philadelphia Mint, with a total mintage of over 1.8 billion coins. Since the U.S. Mint did not put mint marks on quarters from 1965 to 1967, all 1965 quarters were struck in Philadelphia. Most circulated 1965 quarters are worth only $0.25 to $1, depending on their condition. Uncirculated 1965 quarters in MS65 grade or higher can fetch $20 to $50. A 1965 quarter graded MS67 Plus by PCGS or NGC has sold for over $1,000 in auctions. Some rare errors can increase the value of a 1965 quarter significantly. Let's look at a few major ones. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. You can check for this error using a scale. A regular clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. A 1965 silver quarter can be worth $4,000 to $10,000 plus at auctions. Some 1965 quarters have a double die obverse (DDO) error, where the design appears doubled. These can be worth $50 to $200, depending on the strength of the doubling. If the coin was not properly aligned during minting, it may have an off-center strike. A 5%-10% off-center quarter could be worth $50 to $100, while a 50% off-center strike can fetch $500 or more. Some 1965 quarters lack the nickel layer, exposing the copper core. These errors can be worth $200 to $1,000, depending on condition. Check the weight. If it's 6.25 grams, it could be a rare silver quarter. Look for doubling on letters and numbers, which could indicate a double die error. If there's no copper layer visible, it could be a rare variety. If you suspect a rare error, get your coin graded by PCGS or NGC for authentication. So, is the 1965 quarter valuable? While most are worth only face value, rare high-grade or error quarters can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1965 United States quarter dollar, commonly known as the Washington quarter, represents a major turning point in American coinage history. This was the first year that quarters were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, replacing the previous 90% silver content used from 1932 to 1964. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, by the early 1960s, silver prices began to rise sharply, leading to hoarding and a coin shortage. Many people started melting down their silver quarters because the silver content was worth more than the coin's face value. In response, the U.S. government and the U.S. Mint decided to remove silver from dimes and quarters starting in 1965. The Coinage Act of 1965, signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson, officially ended silver coin production for circulation. Instead, a clad composition was introduced. This new clad coin had the same silver-like appearance but was much cheaper to produce. The government hoped this change would stop hoarding and keep coins in circulation. To discourage collectors from hoarding new coins, the U.S. Mint made a temporary decision to remove mint marks from all quarters produced between 1965 and 1967. As a result, the 1965 quarter has no mint mark, even though it was produced in Philadelphia. The Denver and San Francisco mints did not produce quarters in 1965. Instead, all quarters from 1965 were struck at the Philadelphia Mint in massive quantities. Over 1.8 billion coins were made. During the transition from silver to clad coinage, some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These rare error coins are highly sought after by collectors and can sell for thousands of dollars today. The 1965 quarter marked the beginning of a new era in U.S. coinage. It introduced the copper-nickel clad composition that remains standard for quarters, dimes, and half dollars today. Although most 1965 quarters are common, high-grade versions and error coins are valuable to collectors. This coin is a significant piece of numismatic history, representing the end of silver coinage and the beginning of modern coin production in the United States. The value of a 1965 U.S. Liberty quarter dollar depends heavily on its condition and grade. Coin collectors use a grading scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, to determine a coin's condition. Let's break down the different conditions and what they mean for the value of a 1965 quarter. Minimal wear on the highest points, with some original mint luster. Some minor marks or imperfections, but no wear from circulation. Value, $20 to $1.50, a high-quality uncirculated coin with sharp details and luster. Value, $100 to $300, nearly perfect condition, extremely rare. Some have sold for over $1,000 at auctions. If they are worn down, the coin is lower grade. The fewer imperfections, the higher the grade. Uncirculated coins should still shine under light. While most 1965 quarters are worth face value, high-grade versions and error coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you think you have a high-grade 1965 quarter, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC to confirm its value.